Hello everybody, welcome back, and I'm TheChornick, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss Pokemon XY&Z episode number 46, and today, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, heck, you know what, yeah, I'm pissed, yeah, I'm mad, this episode sucked. It was one of those episodes that we're all gonna remember and hate and just, like, cry over for quite a while, but to be honest, was it a good episode? The goodbyes were sad, and that's how it hit me emotionally, but I don't think it was to the level I wanted it to be. But, okay, let's just take a moment and realize that for the first time in history, Ash is getting rid of two extremely powerful Pokemon in the same episode. He gets rid of powerful Pokemon. Have you realized that? Pidgeot, Charizard, Gliscor, he gets rid of powerful, allies. I mean, he gets rid of powerful Pokemon. He gets rid of Goodra in the beginning of the episode. In 20 seconds, we saw 20 seconds of Goodra. And okay, they were like, "Oh, goodbye, Goodra." Da da da. Cry, cry, cry. Dene ends up crying. It was, like Dene did before when Greninja was released in the first place. So I really hope we do see Goodra eventually later down the line. But it's sad because that's his first pseudo-legendary, fully evolved dragon. Okay, and he just dismisses him. He's goodbye, go back to wetlands. I don't like, to be honest, their happiness, Pokemon's happiness, should be with the trainer. I would be really concerned if there's some place that you're gonna be happier at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, but Ash should not release Goodra. Like, Goodra should learn that it should be happy, more happy with Ash. Like, I don't know. Just because, like, you're protected the Pokeball, I'm giving you food, I'm giving you happiness, you're battling, you're becoming stronger with me. Like, to me, Ash should not be getting rid of Goodra, Greninja, anybody, right? So anyway, let's move on to the rest of the episode, but that was really sad right off the bat. And this was really a heartbreaking episode. It was. And from the initial point, everything else in between, besides the goodbyes, sucked, in my opinion. Like, this episode was not that good. It's just like the goodbyes that really hit us in the emotional feels, you know what I'm saying? Hit it where we live, right? So, throughout this episode, basically, Clement, I like the part where Clement, like, used his invention, like, when he's like, I thought about a situation exactly like this, and then he made this little disc that kept him from being controlled by Zero-Esque when Zero-Esque, like abducted him and kidnapped him, and, like, Clement was just, like, pretending to be, like, being possessed by Zero-Esque, but he was just pretending, and so when Ash actually arrived with Serena and Bonnie, like, he was just like, "Oh, just kidding. I have this thing on my head." And Zero-Esque is like, What? But yeah, it was also cool to see that Zero-Esque was really impressed by Clement's smarts, by his genius. So that was kind of cool. That kind of gives Clement some light, right, in the episode as well. And we also see Zygardes were, like, taking down corrupt power elsewhere. They were destroying roots and all that, but we didn't really see much of them within this episode besides, like, the last moments, right? So basically, Ash Greninja was taking on Zero-Esque, taking on all the corrupt forms, all these roots. He was slashing them down. He was fighting off Zero-Esque. He was doing a lot in this episode, Ash Greninja was. And a really cool point that we could take away from this episode in regards to Ash Greninja and Ash is that they could visually see what they're doing. Like, they could actually, like, have illusions, and Ash could feel what Greninja is feeling. So the fact that Ash Greninja left Ash at the end of this episode still being in the Ash Greninja form, so does that mean in Sun and Moon in the Alola region that he's gonna feel Ash Greninja when he gets hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, Ash is gonna, like, see visions and stuff. Like, I think that would be kind of funny at the same time, because if it's gonna go with the comedic, like, series that, Sun and Moon is supposed to be, like, all of a sudden Ash just, like, falls down in pain, like, I think it would be funny at the moment, but then it would be like, oh, shoot, then he would remember Ash Greninja, and maybe that's when Ash Greninja would come back, or maybe they would reference him or something. I think that would only happen once, though. But anyway, let's move on to the rest of the episode. Now, there's this one part where, like, Serena grabs Ash's hand after he says that he's gonna jump off the cliff, and I forgot about the preview, so when I saw her, like, touch his hand and, like, hold his hand with both of hers, I'm just like, oh, more shipping, let's go! And then all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, it's just that preview scene. And so she's just like holding his hand because she wants to jump off the cliff with him. But anywho, so a more shipping moment nonetheless. But I thought it was gonna be like, oh my gosh, oh, she's gonna say something. But but then I was like, okay, just a preview. But anyway, moving on to the rest of the episode. Clement captured Zero Risk finally with a bionic arm. Zero Risk was trying to escape off the side of the plane. He's abandoning his entire plane. And then, I don't know, how did they even land the thing? Like, how did Clement, I guess Clement maybe has the smarts to land the freaking plane, but they end up landing the plane right next to Officer Jenny, and she arrests Zero Risk. And so that was the end of Zero Risk right there. But right after that, we had the most heartbreaking part of the episode, and that was Ash Greninja's farewell, his goodbye. And this is what, a lot of people were not prepared for. A lot of people just did not want to see this happen. But his most powerful Pokemon in existence, the most powerful Pokemon according to prophecy, is going away just because of Zygarde's corrupt power is still remaining in the world, and he needs to save Kalos. And I'm like, he already saved Kalos, why does he need to still go away? And Zygarde shows up and he's like, no, you have to come with us, because apparently, this is what I heard from the episode. From what I translated from the episode is that Ash Greninja, the bond phenomenon, was created as a side effect. It was a side effect of Zygarde's corruption. It was basically when the world is in danger, the bond phenomenon forms, right? In this case, it was because of Zygarde. It was because of Zygarde's corruptness that made the world perish, almost perish, and so that is why Ash Greninja was created. So, in a way, its power, its corruptness, was still spread out throughout Kalos, and so, basically Zygarde was saying, hey, you're kind of responsible, help us out. I mean, you were kind of created to destroy this anyway, to get rid of it. You were a side effect of it. I mean, it's how about you help us out? Help us Zygardes out and take out the rest, of this threat, help us destroy the corruption, right? And save Kalos and protect the world. Come with us and protect the world, basically. And I'm also a little rusty on this part, but it sounded like as if Greninja fixes this issue, gets rid of the corruption, then he will go back to his original form and the bond phenomenon will go away. And I think that's a result of, he was created because Kalos was in danger, the world was in danger. But now that's not in danger anymore, I think Puni-chan basically said, he will go back to you, Ash, when he's normal again. Like, we're gonna go fix this. Okay, that's what it kind of like, I'm not really resting on it. I think that's what they're saying, which is really sad, considering not only is he going away, but the possibility of him also coming back without that power. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going away to get rid of his own power. Like, okay, I'm not sold on that yet, exactly, but that's what it sounded like, and so that's why I'm even more pissed and more sad about this. But at the very end, with Hawlucha crying, I mean, look at that, Hawlucha freaking crying, bawling his eyes out, like, Ash basically said, Greninja, what are you gonna do? It's your choice, come with me or, go with them. And Greninja just puts out his hand and he realized what he had to do. And Ash and Greninja gave a huge hug to each other, and that was it. They cried, and it was honestly just so freaking emotional. I couldn't stand it. I was just like, wow, thanks Pokemon. Thanks for doing this to me, In the end, out of an amazing series that was XY and XYZ, it was a great story, but it ended in a disaster in my opinion. It just, beautiful all the way up to now, but first off, Ash doesn't win the league when we thought he was going to. Serena's leaving when we thought she was going to stay with him forever. And now Greninja, ultimately, the final hope for him to stay with Ash and for him to move on, their bond phenomenon be really something, that's no longer happening. Goodbye, Greninja. Like, that really sucks. And as always, we're gonna go back to 0 again. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Post your stuff, your comments, your thoughts in the comment section below. I love you all. Peace off!